Categories you choose. The WYMT News app, powered by Appalachian Wireless.
Coming up on Mountain News this morning, 2 Harlan Countyans are among the first school resource officers in the Commonwealth. And concerns about childhood grief is leading towards a program that will help children manage their trauma.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning, I'm Olivia Calfee. The time is 5:31 on October 26th. Now let's check in with meteorologist Evan Hatter for a look at your forecast this morning. And Evan, it's pretty simple. I feel like for the next few days it's going to be pretty nice weather, a little above your temperature range. I know you mentioned earlier, but
yeah, I mean, I kind of like average this time of year. We should be in the mid-60s this time of year, and some of us are not far from that right now, and it only gets warmer as we head through the day. So if you like warm weather like Olivia, we're in pretty good shape as we head through the rest of this work week. No big issues out there this morning. Mid-50s in Pikeville from our Pikeville Medical Center camera this morning as folks get up and about and get their day started on this Friday Eve. We're still looking at plenty of, well, clear skies for the most part. Some 50s out there. 52 Irvin, 55 Prestonsburg, and 56 like we mentioned in Pikeville, but still some 40s. Manchester's at 45, Middlesboro at 44, Williamsburg, London 48 and 49 respectively. And look over in Southwest Virginia, Clintwood and Grundy giving us a preview of what we'll see as we head towards next week with those temperatures in the upper 30s. No big issues on pinpoint Doppler as we work through this morning. So if you're taking the kiddos out to the bus stop and you're grabbing a jacket to take with them, make sure they don't forget it, because we're mild to start this morning, and with filtered sunshine this afternoon, we're not far from the 80-degree mark. How about, let's say 40 degrees cooler than that as we head towards next week. Previewing some chilly air headed our way in a few minutes. Olivia?
All right, thank you, Evan. Deputies in Boyle County arrested 2 men recently who thought they were meeting up with children for sex. Paul Morton of Horse Cave, Kentucky, and James Alpine of Indiana were taken into custody. In both cases, a deputy pretended to be a young girl, and police say the men had arranged a meeting place to have sexual encounters. Police say Alpine had arranged to meet who he thought was an underage girl at a hotel, while Norton was planning to take a girl back to his home.
It's a very good thing for our community to get these people in jail.
Both men were charged with procuring or promoting sexual performance of a minor by electronic means, a Class D felony. The Harlan County Schools Police Department is in its beginning stages, but administrators are already seeing an impact. The department was established in late 2022. 2 officers recently became certified school resource officers after years of training. Harlan County Schools Police Chief Matt Cope says there are many duties beyond enforcing the law on campuses.
They also serve a role in crime prevention, a safety educator, an informal counselor, a mentor, a role model, just someone for the kids to become comfortable with and speak with in any situation that they may need.
Beyond disciplinary action, administrators say the officers serve as a visibly calming presence to students and staff in each school. The Kentucky Center for Grieving Children and Families say Kentucky ranks 7th in the nation for childhood bereavement, with several kids across the state losing parents and siblings to illness, substance abuse, and violence. Yesterday, the center gave a presentation at the state capitol. Lila Salisbury, the executive director of the center, spearheads a pilot program in several Kentucky schools that introduces a grief curriculum to students. Salisbury and other advocates shared the positive impact grief support has had on them.
We see drastic improvements in behavior, academics, peer relationships. A lot of my students really struggle with conflict resolution, and a lot of that stems from feelings of guilt and worthlessness that comes directly as a result of grief.
Beyond the school-based program, the center has also created a peer-led program so children can help one another through grief. The final debate of the governor's race is in the books, and we continue to put the candidates' claims in context. Garrett Weimer looks at where Governor Andy Beshear and Daniel Cameron stand on improving Kentucky's workforce in this campaign 2023 fact check.
In the Kentucky debate, the candidates sparred over why more Kentuckians aren't working and what could fix that.
And the very first thing that we can do is universal pre-K for all 4-year-olds. When they did it in Washington, D.C., it got people back into the workforce quickly. It is the fastest way that we can save our parents about $18,000. We can have every child kindergarten ready, but we can directly impact that workforce.
Childcare is commonly cited as a reason many have not returned to the workforce. Now, in a report published just last week, the U.S. Chamber of Commerce says the following factors are contributing to the labor shortage: early retirements, low levels of immigration, lack of access to child care, new business starts, and increase in savings, although high levels of inflation certainly changing that math. Now, in a 2021 report from the Kentucky Chamber, they said the following factors specifically in Kentucky are contributing to it: retirement boom, a skills gap, lack of child care, substance use disorder, health, incarceration and criminal records, slow population growth, transportation, infrastructure and broadband, and government assistance programs. The data shows it's also true, as Cameron claims, that the pandemic was tough on child care centers. Employment in that industry remains below pre-pandemic levels.
You need a governor who's going to lean into this issue, and that is what I'll do as the next governor. I'm going to make sure that able-bodied participants get to work. This governor will never say that because he's beholden to the far left, and he cannot speak out and say that able-bodied people, we need to get you back into our workforce.
Cameron's economic plan says he will promote a culture of work in Kentucky, but does not detail how he'll get more people back to work. And we should note, it's not just Kentucky. Statistics show workforce participation is below pre-pandemic levels all across the country. 1.5 million fewer Americans are working now compared to February 2020. That's according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. And even before it plummeted during the pandemic, as you see here, Kentucky's workforce participation rate steadily declined since the year 2000, and it has consistently trailed the national average. So right now, Kentucky's workforce participation rate is about 57%. The national average is 62.6%. So as we've outlined here, a number of issues are to blame, which also means there's not just one solution to the problem.
If you missed Tuesday night's Kentucky debate or our other fact checks, you can watch them on WYMT.com. We learned last night that the founder and CEO of the Kentucky nonprofit Veterans Club has been indicted by a federal grand jury. He's accused of improperly taking benefits from the VA. That federal indictment was unsealed last night and accuses Jeremy Harrell of collecting more than $100,000 in benefits. To qualify, you must be unable to maintain employment because of disabilities connected to your military service. The indictment says his work with Veterans Club disqualifies him from those benefits. If convicted, he could face up to 10 years in prison and a $250,000 fine. He is set to appear in U.S. District Court in Frankfurt on November 1st. A fungus is being reported at UK Hospital. UK Healthcare says 5 cases of the fungus Candida auris were reported at the hospital. The fungus is a type of yeast. Health officials report it has been known about across the globe, though cases have been increasing the past several years.
Spread through contact, it's on surfaces, it's a hardy organism that's long-lived on inanimate objects. Once it's present in hospital rooms, it's very difficult to eradicate. You have to do special cleansing procedures, but it's just a difficult germ from an infection control standpoint to deal with.
Doctors say this disease likely will not affect you, but their doors remain open to people who need treatment. Earlier this month, an invasive spotted lanternfly was seen close to Kentucky. Now UK Extension agents claim the pest have finally made it into the state. Kentucky Extension entomologist Jonathan Larson is a part of the team that works to track and identify the bugs and help with informing the public on pest management. Earlier this month, the Office of the State Entomologist in Kentucky was called to confirm one of these sightings.
In this case, we have an infestation where there's multiple life stages present. In our Kentucky situation, there were multiple adults on trees and they were laying eggs. So that officially establishes us as infested.
The fly originally infiltrated into the U.S. through Pennsylvania, but now has made its way to 15 states, including Kentucky, across the eastern portion of the United States. The spotting in Kentucky was in the northern part in Gallatin County. The Floyd County Community Center is looking forward to a future of upgrades. County officials met at the center yesterday, cutting the ribbon on a new investment in the community space. Governor Andy Beshear announced a $750,000 community development block grant last month for the county to make improvements on the more than 50-year-old building. A cheaper renovation project was done a few years ago, but part of the space is used to help kids find a fun place.
We still have those meetings today. We have about 10 meetings a week. Hundreds, literally hundreds of recovering addicts are coming here to this facility to try to help each other get another day clean. And as a result, you know, there's productive members of society being produced within these walls here.
Upgrades are expected to begin next March, with hopes to see them complete by the end of next year. Coming up, Dolly Parton is heading to the theater for the release of her upcoming album.
And perhaps some movie-going weather on the way. Details on a very chilly Halloween.